Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when someone disrespects you so blatantly, so carelessly, that everything inside of you wants to rise up and retaliate. You want to clap back, scream, defend your name, your worth, your dignity. But let me tell you something, there is a power greater than the impulse to react. It's called wisdom, and wisdom doesn't yell. Wisdom doesn't curse. Wisdom doesn't throw shade. Asterisk wisdom stands still, thinks deeply, and speaks deliberately. Asterisk wisdom says, I see what you're doing, but I won't stoop to your level to prove I'm above it. You see, reaction is natural, it's flesh. It's instinct, but I asterisk, response asterisk, that's spirit, that's maturity, that's the fruit of self-control and inner strength. Anybody can react. Anybody can lash out, but it takes a person who knows who they are to hold their peace when someone tries to rob them of it. The real battle isn't in what they say about you, the real battle is in how you choose to handle it. Some people test your character not because of who asterisk you asterisk are, but because of who asterisk they're not. Asterisk they can't handle your presence. They can't digest your peace. They don't understand your favor, so they attack what they don't understand. But don't let their confusion become your chaos. Don't allow a moment of disrespect to drag you into a lifetime of bitterness. Don't trade your crown for a comeback. Don't surrender your destiny for a distraction. Jesus stood silent in front of accusers, not because he was weak, but because he was wise. He knew that sometimes the best answer is no answer. Sometimes silence is the loudest statement. Sometimes walking away is more powerful than standing and fighting. Not because you're afraid, but because you know your value isn't up for debate. Let me speak directly to your heart. You don't have to prove your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have to match their energy. You don't have to validate their low opinion by acting out of character. You are more than the moment. You are more than the insult. You are more than the urge to defend yourself. You've got something they don't asterisk divinely strength. Asterisk that's power. So when disrespect knocks at your door, pause. Breathe, pray, ask God, is this worth my peace? Is this worth my energy? Because you don't have time to fight battles that aren't assigned to you. You've got purpose to fulfill. You've got lives to impact. You've got mountains to climb. Don't waste your anointing on arguments. Don't let the enemy pull you into petty when God is calling you into purpose. You are not weak because you didn't react. You are strong because you chose wisdom. And that, my friend, is how you rise above the noise, not with volume, but with vision. Sometimes in life, you've got to love people with limits. You've got to understand that access is not a right. It's a privilege. And when someone repeatedly disrespects you, mistreats you, or disregards the value God placed on your life, it's not unkind to set boundaries. It's asterisk necessary. Asterisk because if you don't put a line in the sand, people will walk all over the holy ground God told you to protect. Let me tell you something. Setting boundaries isn't about being bitter. It's about being wise. It's about guarding your heart, not building a wall, but putting up a gate with a lock that only discernment can open. You are not obligated to keep letting the same people break you and then call it grace. Grace doesn't mean being a doormat. Grace means you can walk away without hate in your heart. Grace means you can say, I still love you, but I love myself enough not to keep letting you hurt me. Boundaries are not rejection. They are protection. Some people don't respect you because they've grown too familiar with you. They think your kindness is weakness. They think your patience is permission. But when someone consistently crosses the line, it's not your job to keep redrawing it. It's your responsibility to enforce it, because what you tolerate will continue. And if you keep giving the wrong people front row seats in your life, don't be surprised when they keep talking during the show. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, and I know it can be hard, especially when it's someone close, a family member, a friend, a leader, someone you thought had your back, but even Jesus put space between himself and certain people. He healed 10 lepers, but only one came back. He had 12 disciples, but only 3 went up the mountain. And when he went to raise a girl from the dead, he put everyone out who didn't believe. Asterisk why? Asterisk because atmosphere matters, access matters, and sometimes peace requires distance. Stop apologizing for protecting your peace. Stop explaining your boundaries to people who keep violating them. If they respected you, they'd respect the line you drew. If they loved you, they wouldn't ask you to keep sacrificing your sanity for their comfort. Boundaries are not a betrayal of love. They are the evidence of self-respect. So today, decide that you're not going to keep shrinking yourself to keep the peace. Decide that you're not going to keep explaining to people why your soul needs space to breathe. Decide that you're going to honor the temple God gave you, your mind, your heart, your spirit, by not letting disrespect take up residence there. Because you weren't made to live in bondage to someone else's behavior. You were made to walk in freedom, and sometimes the first step to freedom is closing the door behind you and locking it from the inside. You cannot afford to lose focus every time someone throws shade at your light. You were not created to chase down every rumor, respond to every critic, or defend yourself against every whisper. When God has placed an assignment on your life, when heaven has breathed purpose into your spirit, the last thing you need to do is detour to deal with distractions. Asterisk, you've got too much oil on your life to keep answering foolishness with energy that belongs to your calling. Asterisk, let them talk, let them doubt, let them speculate, but you keep building, keep pressing. Keep walking toward what God showed you in the dark, even if nobody else sees it in the light. You can't stop every time someone doesn't clap. You can't give up every time the road gets lonely. Some people won't respect your calling until it benefits them. Don't wait for validation from the voices that weren't called to see your vision. Nehemiah was doing a great work, and he said, "I cannot come down." That's what you've got to declare in this season of your life, asterisk. I will not come down. Asterisk, I will not come down to pettiness. I will not come down to gossip. I will not come down to prove what God already confirmed. Some people disrespect you not because of your weakness, but because of your asterisk strength. Asterisk, your presence convicts them. Your purpose intimidates them. Your peace confuses them. So instead of respecting you, they try to distract you. But you must learn to see the attack as a sign that you're on the right path. You see, when the enemy can't destroy you, he'll try to distract you. If he can't curse your gift, he'll try to pull your focus. But I came to remind you the assignment is too important to get sidetracked. You're building something for the next generation. You're birthing something in the spirit that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. You don't have time to clap back. You don't have time to explain yourself. You've got bricks in your hands and a destiny in your heart. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You're not ignoring people out of pride. You're protecting your assignment. When you're focused on what God told you to do, you don't have time for anything else. Stay planted, stay faithful, stay locked in, because every distraction you ignore is another step forward in your divine direction. There's favor on your focus, power in your persistence, and peace in your purpose. So hold your head up, fix your eyes forward, and keep building like your legacy depends on it, because it does. You weren't made to fight every battle. You were made to finish the race, and that means staying so focused on where you're going that nothing and no one can pull you away from where you're called to be. There's a weight that comes with holding on to what someone did to you, a heaviness that settles in your spirit when you carry unforgiveness like luggage on a journey you were never meant to walk burdened. It drains your joy, saps your peace, and robs your clarity. And here's the truth: forgiveness isn't just for them. It's for you. It's not about letting them off the hook. It's about getting yourself free from the prison their actions tried to lock you in. Unforgiveness is a silent thief. It creeps into your heart and builds walls between you and your peace, walls between you and your purpose, walls between you and the presence of God. And every time you replay the offense, every time you rehearse the disrespect, you reinforce the very prison you say you want to escape. But God didn't create you to live in emotional captivity. He called you to live free. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. It means you refuse to let what happened have the final say in your life. It means you say, "What you did hurt me, but it will not define me." You see, when you forgive, you take the keys back, the keys to your peace, the keys to your joy, the keys to your identity. Because as long as you withhold forgiveness, you're still giving them power they don't deserve. Let me make it plain: you can't heal while holding on. You can't soar while staying stuck. Bitterness is a burden that clips your wings. And life is too short, your purpose too precious, and your destiny too divine for you to waste time weighed down by what should have been, could have been, or would have been. God can deal with them better than you ever could. But He can't fill hands that are still holding onto offense. Forgiveness is a spiritual decision, not an emotional feeling. You may not feel ready, but obedience isn't about your feelings, it's about your freedom. When you release them, you release yourself. You say, "I'm not giving this any more space in my mind. I'm not giving this moment any more control over my future. I'm letting it go not because they deserve it, but because I do." You've got to stop letting broken people keep you broken. Stop letting their dysfunction dictate your direction. Stop letting their lack of respect determine your level of peace. You are more than what they did. You are greater than the pain you endured. And when you forgive, you declare, "This ends with me. The hurt stops here. The cycle breaks now." Let it go so you can grow. Let it go so you can breathe. Let it go so God can fill the empty places with healing, with purpose, with power. Your future is too important to be held hostage by your past. Release it and rise. When people don't respect you, when they overlook you, dismiss you, or treat you like you're small, you have to remind yourself, they didn't make you, so they don't get to define you. Your identity is not rooted in their opinion. Your value is not up for debate. You don't have to prove who you are when you already know whose you are. And when you really grasp that truth, you begin to walk different, talk different, live different, not in arrogance, but in confidence. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, crafted by divine hands, chosen before the foundation of the world. So stop letting people who didn't build you tear you down. Stop handing yourself worth over to people who don't even know their own. The reason their words cut deep is because you've forgotten who you are. But I came to tell you, you are royalty, you are light, you are salt, you are purpose walking, you are promise breathing, and you don't need a crowd to confirm what God already called you. There's a power that comes from knowing your identity. When you know who you are, disrespect doesn't break you, it reveals what needs to be healed. It shows you where you've still been letting the noise dictate your direction. But no more. This is the season where you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. This is the season where you stop apologizing for being called. This is the season where you stop letting small minds define your big mission. Some people will never see your value, not because it isn't there, but because they're blinded by jealousy, insecurity, or their own brokenness. And if you keep looking for respect in the wrong places, you'll keep being disappointed. That's why you've got to return to the source. Let God remind you of what He put in you. Let Him whisper to your spirit again that you are chosen, that you are seen, that you are equipped, that you are enough. You were never meant to live for likes. You were never meant to be approved by the masses. The anointing on your life doesn't need applause to be authentic. You've been validated by the King of Kings. That's why you can walk through disrespect with your head held high, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you know something. You know that you are more than your mistakes. You know that your worth isn't up for negotiation. You know that your presence matters even if they pretend it doesn't. So rise up, stand tall, square your shoulders, and don't let another day go by letting people's lack of respect shrink your sense of identity. You are chosen, you are powerful, you are destined, and when you truly embrace who you are, their disrespect loses all power because you no longer need their permission to be great. You don't have to carry what God has already said He would handle. You don't have to fight battles that were never yours to begin with. There comes a time in your journey when you realize that some things are simply asterisk above your pay grade. Asterisk some conflicts, some betrayals, some acts of disrespect. They were designed to be handed over, not held onto. Because the more you try to control it, the more it controls you. But when you let go and trust God, that's when the real power begins to show up. You see, we waste too much energy trying to prove, trying to fix, trying to change people who have already made up their mind. And every time you try to fix what only God can heal, you end up exhausted, frustrated, and discouraged. But the Word tells us, asterisk, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, asterisk not yours, not your voice, not your anger, not your social media post. God says, asterisk, let me handle it, asterisk, and if you trust Him, He'll do it better than you ever could. It's not weakness to walk away from disrespect, it's wisdom. It's not giving up, it's giving it asterisk over. Asterisk, because there are things you're facing that don't need your reaction, they need your release. Every time you respond to the attack, you pause your progress. Every time you defend your name, you delay your destiny. But when you trust that God is your defender, you can move forward in peace, knowing that justice will come, healing will come, and vindication will come in asterisk, His asterisk time, not yours. Let them think they've won. Let them believe they got away with it, because you're not walking by sight, you're walking by faith. Faith that knows God sees what was done in the dark. Faith that knows God hears what was whispered behind closed doors. Faith that knows no lie can bury what God has called to rise. You may have been disrespected, but you haven't been disqualified. God still has a plan, and sometimes the only thing standing between you and the next level is the decision to stop trying to do God's job. That's why you've got to rest. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Rest in the truth that you are not alone. Rest in the promise that what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good. Rest in the assurance that your name is safe in His hands, your purpose is secure in His plan, and your peace is protected by His presence. Let them talk, let them judge, let them walk away, but you keep walking with God, keep trusting His justice, keep believing in His timing, because when you let God handle what you can't control, He'll do exceedingly, abundantly above all that you could ask, think, or imagine, and He'll do it in a way that leaves no doubt. Asterisk, it was Him all along. Asterisk.